Chapter 1: The Hidden Valley. In a land far beyond the reach of ordinary maps, hidden deep within the folds of time and mist, there existed a secret valley known only to the oldest of legends. This valley was called Eldoria, a place where mythical creatures thrived in harmony, untouched by the outside world. Dragons soared through the skies, phoenixes danced in flames, and unicorns roamed the lush meadows. But among all these wondrous beings, there was one creature that was said to be the most extraordinary of all: the last Mythling. The Mythlings were once a thriving race of beings who embodied the magic of the world. They could shapeshift, control elements, and even communicate with the very heart of nature. But over the centuries, as the magic of the world began to wane, the Mythlings gradually disappeared until only one remained: Selara. Selara was unlike any other creature in Eldoria. She had the wings of a dragon, the grace of a unicorn, and the shimmering scales of a mermaid. Her eyes glowed with the light of 1,000 stars, and her voice was as soothing as a lullaby. Despite her majestic appearance, Selara was shy and kept to herself, living in a secluded glade at the heart of Eldoria. The other creatures of the valley revered her, knowing she was the last of her kind, but they also felt a deep sadness for her loneliness. Selara, however, did not dwell on her solitude. She spent her days nurturing the land, singing to the flowers, and weaving the wind with her melodies. Yet, in her heart, she longed for something more. She longed to understand her purpose as the last Mythling. Chapter 2: The Arrival of a Stranger. One crisp autumn morning, as Selara was tending to the glade, she sensed something unusual in the air. The wind carried whispers of a presence she had never felt before, a presence not of Eldoria, but from the world beyond. Curious, she spread her iridescent wings and flew towards the edge of the valley. There, at the border where Eldoria met the mortal world, she saw a young boy standing hesitantly, his eyes wide with wonder. He was no older than 12, with tousled hair and a look of determination on his face. He was unlike any human Selara had ever seen, for he was not afraid of the magic that surrounded him. Selara landed softly before him, her luminous form glowing in the dappled sunlight. The boy gasped in awe, but he did not run. Instead, he took a cautious step forward, his gaze locked with hers. Are you real?" he whispered, his voice trembling with excitement. Selara tilted her head, her curiosity piqued. "I am Selara, the last of the Mythlings," she replied, her voice melodic and gentle. "Who are you, and how did you find your way to Eldoria?" The boy's face lit up with a smile. "My name is Aiden. I found a map in an old book that belonged to my grandfather. It spoke of a hidden valley full of mythical creatures, and I had to see if it was real. I've always believed in magic, even when everyone else said it was just a story." Selara's heart warmed at Aiden's words. It had been so long since a human had believed in the magic of Eldoria. She felt a connection to this boy, as if he were meant to be here. "Welcome, Aiden," she said. "Few have ever crossed into Eldoria, and those who do are usually guided by destiny." Aiden's eyes sparkled with excitement as he looked around at the wonder of the valley. "I want to learn about this place, about you, and the creatures here. Will you show me?" Selara nodded, and with a graceful flap of her wings, she led Aiden into the heart of Eldoria, where the secrets of the mythical world awaited him. The lessons of magic. Over the next few days, Selara and Aiden became inseparable. She showed him the wonders of Eldoria, the nests of phoenixes high in the mountains, the crystal caves where dragons slumbered, and the enchanted groves where unicorns gathered at dawn. Aiden was a quick learner, absorbing the stories and wisdom of the creatures he met. But as they explored, Aiden noticed that Eldoria, while beautiful, seemed to be slowly fading. The colors of the flowers were not as vibrant, the songs of the birds were quieter, and the air felt heavier, as if the magic itself was dwindling. One evening, as they sat by a shimmering lake, Aiden turned to Selara with concern in his eyes. "Why does it feel like Eldoria is fading?" he asked. Selara sighed softly, her gaze drifting to the stars reflected in the water. "The magic of the world is tied to belief," she explained. As humans stopped believing in the old stories, the magic began to wane. Eldoria, being the heart of that magic, is fading as a result. Aiden frowned, a sense of sadness washing over him. "But what can we do? How can we save this place?" Selara looked at him, her eyes filled with both hope and uncertainty. "I do not know," she admitted. "But I believe that your arrival here is not by chance. You are the first human in centuries to find Eldoria, and I feel that you are meant to help us." Aiden's resolve hardened. "I'll do whatever it takes to save this place," he declared. "I believe in the magic of Eldoria, and I'll make others believe too." Selara smiled, her heart swelling with hope. "Then let us begin," she said, and together, they set out on a quest to restore the magic of Eldoria. The quest for the eternal flame. Selara and Aiden traveled to the farthest reaches of Eldoria, seeking answers and guidance from the ancient beings that resided there. They visited the wise old dragon, Drakkar, who spoke of the eternal flame, a legendary source of pure magic said to be hidden in the heart of Eldoria. It was believed that rekindling the eternal flame would restore the magic of the entire valley. "The flame has been dormant for centuries," Drakkar rumbled, his voice deep and resonant. "Only one with a heart pure enough and belief strong enough can reignite it." Aiden felt a mixture of fear and determination. He had come this far, and he couldn't turn back now. When they finally reached the Cave of Echoes, they were greeted by a sight that took their breath away. The cave was vast and shimmering, with walls made of crystal that reflected 1,000 colors. At its center was a small, unlit fire pit, surrounded by runes that pulsed faintly with ancient magic. Aiden approached the fire pit, his heart pounding in his chest. He knelt before it, closing his eyes and focusing all his belief, all his hope, into a single thought: reignite the magic, save Eldoria. Selara watched as Aiden whispered words of hope and belief. The air around them began to hum with energy, and the runes on the ground glowed brighter. Suddenly, a spark appeared in the pit, growing into a small flame that flickered and danced. It grew stronger and stronger until it became a roaring fire, blazing with the light of pure magic. And the eternal flame had been reignited. Oh, the return of magic. As the flame roared to life, the magic of Eldoria surged through the valley. The colors of the flowers returned, more vibrant than ever. The songs of the birds filled the air with joy, and the creatures of the valley rejoiced as the magic flowed back into their world. Selara's form shimmered with renewed energy, her eyes glowing with the light of the stars. She looked at Aiden, tears of joy in her eyes. "You did it, Aiden," she said, her voice filled with emotion. "You have saved Eldoria." Aiden smiled, feeling a warmth in his heart that he had never known before. "We did it together," he replied, knowing that it was their bond, their shared belief, that had reignited the flame. Word of the restored magic spread beyond Eldoria, reaching the ears of those who had once dismissed the old stories as mere myths. Slowly, people began to believe again, and the magic of Eldoria grew even stronger, radiating out into the world. Aiden stayed in Eldoria for many more days, learning from the creatures and deepening his bond with Selara. But eventually, the time came for him to return to the mortal world. He knew that his journey was not over, that he had a new purpose to fulfill. Before he left, Selara gave him a gift, a small, glowing crystal that contained a fragment of the eternal flame. "This will remind you of your time here," she said, "and will help you spread the belief in magic wherever you go." Aiden nodded, feeling both sadness and joy. "I'll never forget you, Selara. And I'll make sure the magic of Eldoria." The end.